Well, boys, it's international break. It's the winter international break now. We've had some World Cup qualifiers in CONCACAF, but boy, let me tell you, some of our listeners, some of our commenters have not been happy with us. Had some
Spicy.
yeah,
Spicy.
some spicy responses that we'll have to deal with tonight. This is Red Card Radio. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whenever you're tuning in. Thanks for listening. Red Card Radio is a weekly look at the Premier League from three friends who support different clubs. My name is James. I support Arsenal. With me tonight is Brad. He supports Chelsea. Down below is Sean. He supports Tottenham Hotspurs. And with us tonight, friend of the podcast, resident Newcastle United supporter, we got Joel with us tonight. Joel, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing well. It's an honor to be on Red Card Radio, finally. I've been
First
waiting.
guest. First guest.
Official.
So
Mark it down. Sheet of integrity.
Yeah, what day is it? February 1st.
2/1/22, whatever.
Yeah, so I think the word on the street is that you feel like we have been a bit unfair to Newcastle in our coverage.
Whoa! Our guest here. Why don't you ask him about himself first?
We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. But so just to set everything up, we got Joel on where he's going to be able to defend Newcastle. Let's get to know you a little.
I don't know how you can defend Newcastle, but go
All
ahead and
right,
give it a
all
try.
right.
Okay, yeah, sure. All right, so Joel, tell us about yourself. Tell us. The floor is yours. Tell us about yourself.
Well, again, thank you for having me on. It's really cool to be on Red Card Radio. Yeah, my name's Joel. I'm a Newcastle fan. I've been a Newcastle fan since I can remember, probably age 5 or 6. So many years now. I am not from Newcastle. Anyone who knows the Geordie accent knows that this is not a Geordie accent. But
We do not.
I am from about 6 hours from Newcastle, near a town called Reading. But the reason I support them is my hero growing up was Alan Shearer. Like most Newcastle fans, my age and older, Alan Shearer was a local hero to the Newcastle fans. So watched him on TV. He scored loads of goals. I just wanted to support whoever he played for. So that's why I support Newcastle. It's been a roller coaster journey, mostly going down, but
There's a slight glimmer now.
there's a slight glimmer now. The good times may be on the way back. We just have to get through this season first.
Well, it's humorous you bring up Alan Shearer because if I'm not mistaken, that's the reason why Sean confusedly supported Tottenham. Because I think it was last week, Sean, you said that Alan Shearer, Tottenham Hotspurs legend, right?
I just thought he had like a brief cameo there on his way out.
Yeah, he scored a lot of goals at White Hart Lane, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure he did.
Not in the Lily White.
In the away kit,
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so first off, we're really pleased and we're really excited to have you here, Joel. So as much as you feel like it's an honor, we're really excited about this. So just to kind of set everything up for everyone tonight, of course, we're going to talk about some comments from last week. We will go into some talking points that we have set up. Of course, there was no football plate. I mean, with the except we might mention the U.S. men's national team if we get there, but there was no English football that's been played because there is an international break. We will talk about, of course, the transfer window. It is officially February. The clown fiesta season is finally over, and we can get back to talking about football. We'll talk about who we think the biggest winners and losers are, and apparently Brad and Sean have some super secret things that they want to talk about that I don't even know what they are. So, and then we'll check in with the sheets of integrity before we get out of here, and we will we will preview for you the FA Cup, which is coming up this weekend. But if you're new here, if the first time you're tuning in, we'd really appreciate it if you hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, give us a follow, leave us a comment, tell us what you liked, tell us what you didn't like, and if you are on Apple Podcasts or if your podcast lets you leave a rating, we would really appreciate that 5-star rating. And Sean, I've been hearing that some people have been mildly inconvenienced this week. So what do you got to say about that, man?
Yeah. Listen, if you don't like, subscribe, rate, review 5-star, you might be mildly inconvenienced. You might want to go ahead and do that because if you don't, you might park your car or vehicle or truck near a tree in the wintertime for a nighttime and come out to doo-doo all over the hood of your vehicle.
Ooh.
Bird doo-doo. Bird doo-doo. Let me clarify. Some birds took liberties with the front of my vehicle, and I'm not even under a tree. And it's wintertime. What are they doing here? Go to Florida.
I don't think anyone thought you were thinking of any other animals.
Well, I don't know. I only just said
pooping on your
doo-doo.
car.
So
I mean,
Yeah.
Richmond might be a special place. I don't know about that.
you never know in Richmond. If it's big enough, you could assume it might have come from a human.
I was going to say the squirrels, but wow.
Well,
Wow.
Richmond.
You certainly
it's
wouldn't
not
want
80. It's not 80s Richmond, but it's still Richmond.
Well, you definitely don't want any of that to happen to you. So make sure you rate, review 5-star.
Not the last one.
Yeah. But so let's hit these comments from last week. Of course, we had, as always, we had Will, Jimmy, and Joel leaving us some comments. So we're going to kick it right to you, Joel. What you kind of honed in on was our best goalkeepers in the world conversation. Sean was putting Kasper Schmeichel in the top 5 globally. And we gave our list, and you chimed in. This was your list in no particular order, which I appreciate because trying to rank these players, I think, is kind of foolhardy. But you had Jan Oblak, Alisson Becker, Mendy, Ederson, and Donnarumma in your top 5. Tell me why Kasper Schmeichel is not in there. What's going on? I thought he was the best.
No, Kasper Schmeichel is not even top 5 in England. He's a good goalkeeper. I'd take him at Newcastle, but he's not one of the best in the world. He had a good Euros. He got to the semis. Fair play. But no, he's just not better than any of the ones listed. There's many more better than him as well.
What's Donnarumma doing besides being 6'6"?
Winning the Euro.
Dang.
Like all he does is just be long. He's not any type of good.
He broke my heart in the summer. He won the Euros for Italy.
So,
But wait, Joel, you said top 5 in England. He's not even top 5 in England. So let's hear those 5 better because I think
like in his list, he has 3 goalkeepers that play in England, so he only needs to pick 2 more.
okay.
2 more in
Sweet.
England?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I would take Lloris over him. I would take, on current form, I'd take Aaron Ramsdale. I would take probably Kepa, maybe. I don't know.
Wow, Kepa, yes.
De Gea.
I don't know, maybe.
De Gea?
I'd take De Gea. Yeah,
De
probably
Gea.
the best. Probably
Hey,
one of the
what
best
about-
shot stoppers in the world. He's not consistent, but he's one of the best shot stoppers.
He's the
What
worst
about-
positional goalkeeper ever. De Gea.
What about England's number 1, Jordan Pickford?
No, I'd take Schmeichel over Pickford.
As would I.
I don't know. Sometimes
And De Gea's
Brad.
not even the best keeper on his team. Dean Henderson is.
I mean,
we'll put Dean Henderson above him too.
I think you could make that argument. I still think that Dean Henderson should be United's goalkeeper. But that's a soapbox that apparently
You guys heard that was my plan for Newcastle was go out and loan Dean Henderson up north for 6 months. They're going to apparently let De Gea ride out his contract. So
is he
Dean
out of
Henderson's riding.
Wait, Sean,
No.
did you feel any hate? Did you have any like rebuttals there to that list? Didn't sound like you did.
Yeah, Kasper Schmeichel's in it. That's my
Over
rebuttal.
who? Over who? I mean, okay, you can probably say over Ramsdale.
Better than Lloris and De Gea.
He's better than Lloris. You'd rather
Yes.
have you'd rather take your club captain away and bring
Yes.
in Casper over Hugo.
Yes.
From an
Okay.
age perspective, isn't how Kasper
Well,
Schmeichel
yeah,
is
yeah,
like
They're both
What,
old.
31?
yeah,
31?
he's like 31, I
30.
think. So that's not even like a good. I mean, you're
Well,
shaving
no,
off 3 years.
Lloris is like 34, 35, somewhere
Yeah.
around there.
Okay.
Neither are old for a
Casper
keeper. I don't
Schmeichel
think.
is 35.
Okay.
Oh.
Wow.
Never mind.
Really?
Yeah,
Never
and
mind.
Hugo Lloris is 35. Actually, Hugo is technically younger by a month, like almost exactly a month. November 5th compared to
And
December 6th.
I'm still taking the deal. I'm still taking the deal.
It's like the scenes in my face when I found out that Jesse Lingard was 29 this week. Thanks for that, Joel.
Yeah.
I think that I have no issues with your top 5, Joel. I think it's really solid.
I agree.
There was some that just missed out. I mean, like Ter Stegen, Navas, Handanovic, Inter Milan's goalkeeper.
yeah,
He's very good.
Yeah.
I just don't. All right. So first of all, I think Donnarumma. I think just because you are 6'6" doesn't mean you're a good goalkeeper. But how can Ter Stegen be in there and if you haven't even mentioned Manuel Neuer?
Neuer, well, there we go. There's another one. Manuel Neuer.
Okay.
He's much better than Kasper Schmeichel.
I think I take Berkey too.
Who, Brad?
Berkey, Dortmund's goalie. Probably saying his name wrong.
Jimmy Soundoff. I know Jimmy watches a lot of Borussia Dortmund. That's his
he's
German
going
team.
to.
So Jimmy Light brought up in the comments. I think that you suffer, Sean, for liking Kasper Schmeichel because he's plays in England, and you watch a lot of English football.
Danish.
Yes, but I said he
Danish.
plays in England. I didn't say anything about his nationality. I just talk about where he plays.
I'm rooting for him because he's Danish. That's why.
Oh, okay. All right. Sounds good. Well,
He's also, hold on a second, go back to Donnarumma real quick. He's 22 with over 200 caps in Serie A and Ligue 1.
He's got a stupid face.
all right. I think people are
He
gonna.
looks dumb.
All right.
Hold on. No, I found out what the problem is with Donnarumma. He's Italian, and Sean just apparently has issues with Italian people.
We forgot.
Okay.
So also getting PTSD because this Newcastle kit looks a little too close to that Juventus.
That's actually an interesting story. It wasn't. There's another club in England who wears black and white. I think it is, and black and white is not Juventus's traditional color. Will, sound off in the comments. Give me this story. But apparently, Juve got a shipment of shirts that was wrong from their supplier. It was this other club's, and they just used them. This was in like the 20s or the 30s or something like that. And so that's how they adopted the black and white shirt.
No, they couldn't afford kits.
Notts County is the other team in England.
Yeah.
It's Notts County, and they couldn't afford, and Juventus couldn't afford to buy kits, so Notts County sent them some of theirs.
Okay.
And I know this because Notts County asked Juventus if they could send them kits, like last year or the year before that.
And I think they did. I think they did, didn't
because
they?
they didn't know if they could make enough money, but the sponsorship deal wouldn't let it happen. Like, because they were Adidas, and I think Juventus is Nike, or something like, well, like one or the other. It was something like that where they couldn't send the kits because of that. But yeah,
and then I'd go to Adidas and be like, "Well, then print me some shirts." Like, you don't want Juventus to send them over. Doing everything we can here.
Yeah. So we'll fact check Brad, but that sounds right. We're gonna Sean. There is a glimmer of good news for you. Our boy Jimmy.
Yeah.
He's gonna run all of his financial decisions by you. Hashtag crypto.
Oh, okay, all right. Oh yeah, I forgot about
the crypto comments from last week.
Yeah.
But he disagrees wholeheartely with you on the Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens situation. And Joel, we're going to come to you here in a second because I know that you are our preeminent baseball guy. But Jimmy believes that
we'll get the hot takes.
Steroids have a profound effect on your ability to play. Long story short, Clemens and Bonds should serve as an example to players who aspire to be in the Hall that cheaters won't be allowed in the Hall. He also brought up Pete Rose. If we're talking about a travesty of people who aren't in the Hall of Fame, he thinks Pete Rose it's a travesty that he's not in the Hall of Fame. Will jumped in on this conversation. He agrees with the Pete Rose situation, but he is more in our line of thinking about Barry Bonds, and that if Barry Bonds suffered a freak career-ending accident in the spring training of '99, he would have been a first ballot Hall of Famer, 3 MVPs, 8 Golden Gloves, and all of the other statistics that Sean brought up last week. So that's Jimmy. Jimmy disagrees with us.
Jimmy's wrong again. He's 100% wrong again. Like I don't. Look, I can understand Clemens. I will give him the benefit of the doubt on Clemens because throwing a pitch harder is a significant impact. He's 100% wrong on Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
This is the rebuttal that will end this. Listen to me. Jimothy. Everyone was using. The only ones that are getting criticized for it were the good ones and the ones that got caught up in it. Everyone was using it. So why do you think they all did it? Because if they're like, damn, if I can hit 30 home runs and this dude's smashing 50, maybe I should do that. And that happened all through the 90s, like a tumbleweed just grabbing other tumbleweeds until it turned into a boulder of tumbleweed. And now everybody's using it. And if you're not, you're going to get bounced and not make millions of dollars. Because you can't throw as hard as this guy or hit as far as this guy. So it's either do steroids or get fired at that point. That's how it got. So how can you punish guys? And at that point, and that's where the point comes in of, were you good without them? Barry Bonds, yes. Roger Clemens, yeah. Roger Clemens broke the record for strikeouts in like 87, but he was like 22. He'd struck out 21 of 27 batters. There was only what, 6 people who didn't get struck out?
Sean's not buying it.
That's ridiculous.
I'm sure Jimmy will give us his response in the comments.
By the way, as an aside, can you imagine how, other than like the historical significance, can you imagine how boring that baseball game would be to watch?
Which one?
21 strikeouts?
21
oh, yeah.
strikeouts.
Baseball is boring to watch anyways.
I don't know. I think that would be pretty exciting.
Yeah, other than the historical importance.
But I think that's what makes it exciting, right? Like, so you go to the park and you're like watching a game and like a pitcher is having a day, like that's a special thing to watch.
Well, yeah, I'd like hitting like 8 or 9 when you realize what's happening, but 1 through 6 is boring.
I don't know. I would be pretty hyped in the second inning if he struck out all 3 in the first inning and then struck out all 3 in the second inning. I'd be like, oh, this dude's on it today. Like, I'd be pretty hyped. But Brad, you also I don't think you value baseball.
No,
I value baseball, and I don't even value baseball like Sean values baseball. So.
That's my first love. That's my first love.
So, Will
not trying to rhyme, but my first glove was on my hand at like 3 years old.
I mean, I'm sure I had one pretty young too, but I don't remember anything when I was 3.
No, I'm just kidding.
So Will pops in here. His comment was he hasn't watched a lot of Spurs Ventus, so he won't comment on Sean's take about Harry Kane staying up. But this is a problem that VAR should be well positioned to solve. VAR should be awarding penalties when players continue because the offensive player tried to fight through it. Honestly, until the diving is reduced, VAR should be using lack of effort to continue playing and weighing in favor of not awarding a penalty with VAR. And then he parenthetically says, within reason on borderline decisions. So the Spurs Ventus comment is humorous, and we'll get to why he makes that here in a little bit.
Yeah. So basically he's saying that the emphasis on diving has made players want to continue more, which is making the VRAs call them less.
No.
He's saying that players are going down easier and hoping that VAR will give them a penalty. And then in theory, if there's any contact, then VAR is giving a penalty. What Will is saying is that, and then players who stay up aren't being, like, they're clearly fouled. Like, players get fouled, but they like stumble and they get up and they get a shot. They're not given a penalty because they got a shot, but they were clearly fouled in the box and VAR is not giving them a penalty. So they're being essentially penalized for not falling over when they were fouled. Does that make sense?
I don't remember me talking about that last week.
Well, we were talking about Harry Kane as a diver. I think Brad was calling it.
Yeah, because that was in reference to it was 3 or 4 games ago where he was getting 2 underhooks, and the defender behind him, he was back to the goal, and the defender was basically pulling him and holding him up so he couldn't fall.
Yeah, I don't know.
So he couldn't do either.
I think it was the Tottenham Chelsea game. I think there was like a possible penalty call in there. I think is what we were talking about. Is like he didn't go down and then the shot went awry. I think what it was.
Because I've maintained all along that Kane. Joel, feel free to jump in on any of these, by the way. Kane does not go down easily. He tries to stay up as much as he can, probably to his detriment.
Yeah, I think that's Will's point.
I think that I think the players have, with VAR, it's hard. VAR is very inconsistent, and even before VAR, like as Will's comment about like trying to reduce diving. That's when the referee started like booking players for diving if they saw it. Now VAR's in there, and we're seeing such inconsistency. Like Sam Maximan versus Leeds.
Yep.
That was a foul. No, that was a clear penalty in my opinion.
Mine as well.
Like he definitely got tripped up. If that's outside the box and it's in the middle of the pitch, I feel like it's a foul. The ref will give it. It's just because it's in the penalty box. I think VAR is just very inconsistent. You see things that are stonewall penalties that are not given, and things that are questionable penalties that are given. And on the point of Kane, I think Kane is like a older-fashioned type striker where he does try and stay up a little bit. I think any player is going to go down on the contact if they feel it. For the most part, they're going to try. If they can get a penalty, they're going to try and win a penalty.
Yeah.
And that can be to your detriment sometimes, for sure. But like Kane and I want to say like Shearer, for example, like he rarely went down as well. They're similar type of players, tall, powerful. Shearer wasn't that tall, but powerful, old-fashioned, get stuck in. So I think I agree. It's kind of to their detriment when they don't go down, but it's not to say it never goes down, because any player is going to go down to win a penalty if they can.
Would you guys be in favor of VAR? So say player doesn't go down. They're obviously fouled. They fight through it. They get a shot away. They don't score. VAR goes back and awards a penalty. Would you be okay with that?
Yes.
Where do you draw the line of how long does play go on?
They get fouled, and their next action is to kick the ball at the goal. But no passes, no dribbles. They get fouled. They recover from their stumble and they kick the ball at the goal.
So I think me and Joel's counterpoint was okay. What if it's blocked and it heads out to the sideline, and then the play moves on up the wings? Do you stop the play?
Yes, they have before.
Yeah, VAR is stopping play to have referees go look at the
plays for that. Yes.
I don't know.
And how far back? The thing is, how far back they went all the way back to when Chelsea won the ball a minute or two before when we scored a goal. When Aspie fouled, I forget who it was. Aspie fouled the guy. It wasn't called. A minute or two goes by. We score, and they're like, "Oh, that's not a goal because the foul happened over here."
See, that's the stuff I hate about VAR. I hate that personally. Like, I don't think it shouldn't take 2 minutes for someone in a booth to make a call.
Well, what they're saying, the problem is in those situations, it's not that it took them 2 minutes to decide it was a foul. They knew it was a foul at the moment, but VAR is not positioned to intervene on every single foul or no foul call. But since the foul directly led to a goal, is when it becomes reviewable at that point. I saw this in the North London derby. I thought Granit Xhaka fouled Højbjerg leading up to Arsenal's second goal. I thought that was a foul, and when that was a big one, I thought the VAR was going to chalk it off. Now there was only like 30 seconds between what I thought was the foul and then the goal. But that's the thing about like VAR has been calling back those goals that Brad's describing in all of the leagues since the inception of VAR. And it is one of the more frustrating ones to see, especially in the Chelsea situation where so much time has elapsed. But I think that the issue is if you go back and you say that's a foul in the moment, then VAR is then reviewing every single contact. And that would be...
Is there not a way to get to his headset?
No, they're talking. Yeah, they're talking the whole time. But it doesn't become reviewable in the bylaws of what VAR is there for until the goal happens.
So then they have to just make it a bylaw that you can just stop play at that moment and go back.
But then VAR is literally reviewing every single incident between every. Like then VAR is now the ref.
Are they not? Go ahead, Joel.
I was going to say VAR just gets at that point it's too involved and it stops the flow, and like the culture of the sport is it's a continuous game. Like it's supposed to be a continuous game. Like I love American football. I love the NFL, but it's so stop-start because of reviews and
I don't like football.
Like timeouts and you're reviewing every play, and like football soccer fans don't like that. They don't want that. Like let the game flow. If the rest part of I don't know, I kind of like some of the mistakes sometimes, especially when they're in favor of my team. But like
of course.
there has to be margin for error.
I agree.
So I think the VAR can't get too involved, otherwise it's just going to slow the game down and bore the fans. And
to me, it should be like, hey, I'm just gonna. Kevin Friend is on my mind. Like the VAR calls over to, hey, Kevin Friend, did you see this incident between these two players? Did you see that? Yeah, I saw it. Okay. Kevin Friend didn't judge it to be a foul, but he saw the situation, then fine. But if it's like a foul off the ball or foul and the referee doesn't see it and VAR calls and says, hey, did you see this incident? And the referee is like, no, I didn't see it. I don't know what you're referring to. He goes over to the monitor, he sees it and it's a foul. Then I'm okay with that. But if the referee sees something, adjudges it to not be a foul in the moment, and then VAR on situations like you're talking about, Brad, when we're like fouls that lead to goals. Now in the box penalties, I'm okay with, or penalty decisions, I'm okay with VAR coming in and saying, you need to have another look at that for this reason, things like that.
I'm with you. I hate the slow-mo though.
Yeah, it needs to be done at full speed.
My final point on this, so you guys can keep going. My final point, would be when you say like leads to goals. So, did the Xhaka foul on Højbjerg? Did it really lead to the goal, or was it just in the lead up to the goal?
Well, that's how they got the ball back.
That's how Arsenal got the ball.
Yeah. Okay, so you got the ball back. We still have defenders. So did it lead to the goal?
Yes. The goal doesn't happen if that foul doesn't happen. So, I understood the SB one. It was just so far back.
Our entire back line stopped playing. That's basically what I'm saying is all right, so now you're just absolving the entire defense of they just gave up a goal. Now we're hoping there's a foul up there at midfield.
Right. But what it is the original cause of the event was the foul.
30 seconds ago, play defense.
I appreciate your swagger, Sean.
I agree with you.
Oh, it happened against my team, and I'm saying it. Fucking take the ball back, you dumbasses.
All right, Sean's fired up.
Anyways.
That's Will's comment. So it is what it is. Those were our comments.
You know what? If that was Casper Schmeichel in goal, he'd have blocked it.
All right. Oh, okay.
Wait. We got one more comment on that, didn't we?
We do. And this one is interesting. Sean, what are you doing in October, man?
Something birthday related. I don't know.
So apparently, you know your boy Jimmy?
Yeah.
I think you and he have a bit of a penalty shootout that's due to come up here. And apparently there's an off chance that he might be in Richmond in October.
Okay. I got Fields.
You got Fields?
Oh, you got Fields?
I don't know if I have mobile cameras. We can figure that out.
Jimmy, if you
have a phone.
Jimmy, if you can make it to Richmond in October, bring your football cleats, and we will get cameras and we will record this. And I don't think we'll be able to live stream it just because I don't have a satellite dish on my backpack. But we'll get this. We'll get this figured out. Brad might have unlimited data. Who knows? We'll
I'm coming.
I'll
meet you there.
All right, let's do it. So, Red Card Radio listeners,
we might be on the road. We got our first guest. We might be on the road for the first time in October.
That would actually that would be fun. Just
speaking of that,
record.
Somebody sponsor us. Literally anybody.
Joel, you don't
give
happen
us
to
money
own,
for this
you
travel.
Don't happen to own some business that's looking for a sponsorship opportunity.
No, I don't. But I'll keep it in mind. I'll ask around.
Newcastle Ale. Can you write somebody? Can you write somebody?
All right. So we're gonna dig into the meat, I guess, of this podcast today. It's mostly gonna be transfers, but first, because Joel is here and he feels aggrieved, we're gonna talk about Newcastle. Newcastle is kind of our for some
punching bag.
For some reason, Newcastle just keeps pulling us back in, and we always talk about Newcastle. We were talking about Newcastle last year, and for some, whatever it is about Newcastle, we just always talk about Newcastle. And Joel, correct me if I'm wrong, but you feel like we've been a bit unfair in our coverage of Newcastle.
Yes, I think if I get to the core of it all, why everyone hates Newcastle right now is, let's be honest, not let's not focus on league position, but everyone's jealous. Everyone wants to have Newcastle's owners have their bank account. Everyone's jealous. Do you want to be Newcastle?
Interesting.
Wow.
So, I mean, I don't think
been spending their money since October. So
yeah, we have been.
I've been telling them how to get out of relegation since October.
I'm not sure. I don't feel like I've been unfair to Newcastle or mean. I think that the person who has been the most egregious against Newcastle is that man at KS Brad G. Brad, I think you've been the biggest offender against Newcastle. What say you? Are you jealous of Newcastle's bank account?
No. As long as the bank account is billions, like, does it matter if it's 300 or 5?
Yeah, I mean, I would take 300 billion over 5.
But okay, of course you would. But like, in terms of purchasing power,
Jimmy, as your financial advisor, 300 billion is a lot more than 5 billion. All right, since he's going to run all his financials by me.
But like, how much more buying power is that? Unless you're buying a player for $6 billion.
On my math, it would be 60 times more.
Right, but is there players out there worth $6 billion?
It's not just players, though. That's the thing. It's the investment into the stadium, the academy, the city as a whole. Like, Newcastle is a big city.
Okay.
It's a great city in England. It's not like some boring place. Like Newcastle United is the center of Newcastle, like the city. The stadium is on a hill. Like it's the middle of the city. It's built around it, the club. So it's not just buying players, which will come. It's investing in everything that has to do with Newcastle.
Right, and of course, doing those investments does not fall into financial fair play. Kind of does, because you still have to make a profit. But I'm with you. I mean, Chelsea did that. Like, that's big for the but I don't
expenditures like that aren't counted in finance. You're allowed to have losses in non-football relating things like building stadiums, things like that. So Tottenham's $1.1 billion stadium debt does not count against them in financial fair play. So think about it like this. So Chelsea want to build a new stadium. Chelsea have wanted to build a new stadium for years. They have plans drawn up to refurbish Stamford Bridge or build a new Stamford Bridge or whatever. If you have $300 billion, you just do it. You get they get the city approval, you get the council's approval, and you just do it. Roman Abramovich.
If they don't want to approve it, you just bribe them to do it.
No, we did. We had everything ready to go. Like, it was ready to go. Rome was like, cool, I want to be a citizen. And England was like, nah, fam. He's like, all right, then I'm not investing at that time. I think plans are back on. Like, we're starting to do small things.
I think you're right as well.
But again, like, if you have some amount of billions of dollars, you can still finance that and have everything run smoothly.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is spending $1 billion on your stadium. I don't know how much money Roman Abramovich has. I thought it was in the region of around $20 billion, if I was not mistaken. So, like, spending $1 billion on a stadium, if you're Roman Abramovich and you have $20 billion, it doesn't matter. Like, losing $1 billion when you have 20 is not a big deal.
I also thought Roman was worth more. Okay.
Sorry. Okay.
Is that his net worth? Net worth, because that would include Chelsea, who's worth about 2. I would guess
3.
No,
probably.
much more than that.
2, 3, somewhere in there.
Yeah, so I think what's most exciting about Newcastle over the
course
course of the
next...
next...
is not his cash. Like, I don't know what he owns. Just oil fields. Like, that could be just land in his business, but like that could be his his ownings. It couldn't be like, it doesn't necessarily mean his cash flow. But when you are worth 300 billion, you don't own 300 billion worth of things. That is a lot of cash.
No, it's probably not a lot of cash. Maybe in their respect, because it's oil money, it might be cash. I don't know. But generally, like, if you think about like the world's richest people, they don't actually have like Elon Musk, for example, doesn't have $300 billion. He just has 2 absurdly profitable companies, and he just owns a huge stake in them.
I was making the same point about Roman. So let's say my point was, let's take Roman's $13 billion and Chelsea's worth 3. His business is worth 8. So he's got $2 billion in cash, or what? Like, I was just,
he could liquidate assets to get to $2 billion or something like that.
Rough numbers. Yeah, rough numbers. So he's worth $2 billion in cash money. If you extrapolate that out, that means 300 billion's worth whatever. I'm not doing the fractions here, but like 100 billion in cash. For those guys, it's just different math for those people.
Yeah.
Right. But again, are we buying players for anything near $1 billion?
No.
Of like all these idiots on the internet talking about if Jeff Bezos just sold all of his stock at Amazon, he could cure world hunger or whatever. And I'm like, as a Jimmy, pay attention.
An intellectual is what Sean's about to say.
Me, an intellectual, Jimmy, financial advisor. If Jeff Bezos sold all of his stock in Amazon, the stock market would crash because everyone would be like, what the F is going on? And everyone would sell everything. If Jeff Bezos just liquidated all of his assets, the entire stock market exchange would crash. Because everyone would sell. Be like, we don't know what Jeff Bezos is doing, but we're doing it too. Everybody out. It would be Black Friday.
But not the good Black Friday.
Yep. Welcome. No. I'm talking about October.
Like historic.
History major. I'm talking about October 29th, 1929. Start of the Great Depression.
Thank you. Well, to steer the ship somewhere in the right direction.
I think I'm done yelling. I think.
So look, you're not. You are absolutely not done yelling.
You're definitely not.
I think the point that Joel is trying to make, and that I would agree with, I think it's going to be really exciting, 5 and 10 years for Newcastle, regardless if they stay up this year. Which, if we talk about transfers, which we will here in a moment, I think that they're probably they've situated themselves well to have a good run in. But
we need to give Joel a little bit more time here. I feel like we've been trampling him.
Well, yeah, but that's because he asked for a rebuttal more of a rebuttal for me. Like,
so the thing with Newcastle, right? So let me just hop in. So Newcastle fans, let's be honest, we don't care that our owners are the group of owners are worth 300 billion. Like, we don't actually care that much. Newcastle fans are just happy that Ashley's gone.
True.
Mike Ashley's gone because
yes.
The 13, 14 years of him were just awful. Like, we had one season worth celebrating, which was 2011, 2012. We finished 5th in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Like, standout season. The rest of them were bottom half of the Premier League or relegated or winning the championship. Like, we just want someone who's going to invest in the club and actually make Newcastle fans have hope again. Like, when the takeover happened, all the news outlets were like, "Oh, Newcastle fans are going to expect Mbappe, Haaland, De Bruyne." No. We signed Chris Wood, and we're like, "Yeah, that's a good signing. Like, yeah, we're happy. It's a step in the right direction." So I think that's the main point here, is that we're just happy that we've got some investment.
Well, I think in 10 years, though, I think that expectation is going to be different.
Well,
I think Manchester City fans are probably a prime example of that. That, if you asked a Manchester City fan in 10 years, when they signed Robinho, they were like, "Oh my!" Like, they lost their minds. It was like, "Yes, like, we're here." And Robinho played well for them, but not for very long. And I think that their appetite grew a little bit. And I think if you ask them now, I think Manchester City fans are like, "Yo, we should be signing Haaland this summer." And I think that's their expectation. So I think in 10 years, in 2030, I think whoever Haaland is in 2030, I think that Newcastle United fans will be like, we should be right in that conversation. And in 10 years, I think they will be in that conversation.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying Newcastle's going to be terrible. My thing is they have to invest smart, which I think when we get into this window, they did. I think this window was very good for Newcastle. Yeah, just having all the money doesn't mean that you get to be in the top 6. I mean, sure, you can buy and recycle players like Pep does for fullbacks, but that doesn't guarantee success. And to 8 to 10 years, you'll have more hits than misses. So yes, I agree. I don't see the 5-year plan. That's my biggest argument against Newcastle. I 100% agree with you, James and Joel. In 8 to 10 years, cool. Whoever the Mbappe is, or probably Mbappe himself, you can probably convince him to become Newcastle for, a salary of 50 million, whatever.
Yeah,
but you need that time first.
No, I
don't
agree.
see it happening in 5 years.
No, I don't think we'll be winning the Premier League in 5 years. I think we'll be maybe pushing for the FA Cup or something, or Europa League or something. That's amazing. Like, I did some research before this. Between 2008 and 2021, Newcastle in the January transfer window. So we're talking how many years? 13 years. That's Mike Ashley's era.
Yep.
Spent in the January transfer windows over 13 years combined, 93.8 million. Right. This transfer window, we spent 92 million. Like this one. Like
yeah.
That's we've made up for 13 years in one window.
Well, that's the thing about Mike Ashley. That was his biggest complaint. Is like Newcastle would be playing well, they would be doing well, and then he would just buy no one. And you guys would go for a summer and not buy anyone, and you'd get relegated or something like that. Like Rafa Benitez comes in, works wonders for Newcastle, and gets zero support from Mike Ashley and goes down. And so it's like that definitely sounds like it would be very frustrating as a supporter of that club.
Massively. It was just a cycle of torment and just failure, with expected failure, expected disappointment. And it was
I feel you in that, brother.
That's Spurs, yeah.
That's Spurs' way of life.
I got a question, Joel. When was it that you guys won the championship?
We won it twice, 2009 and 2016.
Okay, so you guys have won a trophy before Tottenham has won a trophy. Okay, that's all I just wanted to know. I just wanted to make sure that you guys are more your trophy cabinet is more full than Tottenham's in this past decade. Okay, just wanted to make sure.
You guys were in the FA Cup final, weren't you, against Manchester City a few years
Newcastle?
ago? It wasn't Newcastle.
Well, yeah, but you don't get a trophy for being in the final.
Newcastle not being.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you get one when you're in the Champions League final.
You get a little medal.
Newcastle haven't been in the final in a long time.
99. I don't know why I'm thinking about what I was thinking about. Anyway,
our last trophy was in the 1950s, I think. So that if that's saying something.
All right.
We're going to talk, Brad. I'm skipping your discussion question first. Is it related to transfers?
It's actually related to the Newcastle conversation that we're having.
Okay, fine. Then we're going to do it. Then, Brad, what is this discussion question?
So for you three guys, right? Because I think out of our four teams, my team is in the most likely position to win this. Who wins the Premier League first between Newcastle, Arsenal, or Tottenham?
I think that's an easy answer.
I don't know if Arsenal or Tottenham are close enough to say that. Like, I don't think you guys are close enough to be able to keep up. I think Newcastle in 8 years or 10 years, I think it's faster. But let's hear what you guys have to say.
I have the correct answer. Kroenkes and Daniel Levy are idiots. So the correct answer is Newcastle with new ownership.
I disagree. I think it's Arsenal. And that's not even like a homerism thing. I think that Arsenal have displayed over the last 18 months, 2 years, a willingness to radically overhaul the team and spend money and support the manager that I think that in 2 years we'll be challenging for the title.
I disagree. Arsenal's model on transfers is pretty shocking, I think.
I agree with you. I 100% agree with you. But we've had there's nothing that gives me any belief that Arsenal, in terms of selling players, is going to do anything, because we haven't been doing that. But if you look at the players we've offloaded over the last 2 years, the majority of them have, well, like the big ones. If you think about Ozil, Aubameyang, Lacazette in the summer. Who are some other ones that were bad? Mustafi. Well, Willian actually turned out to be good business for us in terms of getting rid of him. But like we've spent a lot. Like Nicola Pepe is going to be a bad one for us in the long run. But we spent an enormous amount of money on a lot of these players and got nothing for them. I agree with you. That's not good. But if you look at the signings that Arsenal have made a year ago in January and this last summer, I think are a much better indication of the way that Arsenal are spending money. And I think that because that was the first January with Edu as our technical director, the first summer as Edu as our technical director, and this January was kind of a miss, clearly, for us. But I don't know. I think that I honestly believe that Arsenal, of the three teams, Arsenal are the best team right now in terms of players and talent. We're also the youngest of all three. So like our team has the most ability, has the biggest area to grow. And I think that we will make smart signings when we have the opportunity to make signings as detailed by this most previous summer.
You just let your best player go for free.
Aubameyang was not our best player.
I think Aubameyang was if everyone's in good form and fit, he was the first name on the team sheet.
I disagree. I think that Gabriel is our most important player. Followed. I mean, are we eliminating Aaron Ramsdale? I think that if you look at our team when Gabriel's not playing as compared to when he is playing, Aubameyang has not been. I love Aubameyang. I'm not happy that he's gone. I'm really upset about the way that this situation has ended with him, with the fallout with Arteta and just letting him go on a free, releasing him essentially.
And paying his wages.
No, we're not paying his wages.
You're paying a part of his wages still for the next 6 months. That's how Barcelona could get it done.
My understanding is that he's just I'd have
they let him go
a portion.
I saw that Arsenal let him go for mutual consent.
Yeah. So it's possible that we paid him some amount of money, but that's not what I've been hearing from the Arsenal circles. What I've been hearing is that we're going to save almost £30 million on releasing him and letting him sign for Barcelona, and that he was willing to take a huge wage cut to play for Barcelona. That was what I had heard. Regardless of it, I think that Saka has been more important than Aubameyang over the last 6 to 12 months. Partey has been more important than I. So I agree with you. I think he has the most pure talent, or he had the most pure talent. But Aubameyang has not been the same since COVID started. Like, he just hasn't been the same player.
You know who else has pure talent? Dele Alli.
That's the best transfer. That's the best transfer. We're going to get that. But all right. So Sean,
and how'd it turn out on the pitch?
Sean, so is Tottenham never winning the Premier League? Is that what you're saying right now?
Not as long as Daniel Levy's in charge.
I agree.
So
I don't disagree. I'm just shocked that's coming from you. Of us
three, Tottenham are in third. Whichever order you guys want to bounce back and forth, go ahead, Joel.
I think Newcastle will win the league before Arsenal. I think Arsenal are way too far behind City, Liverpool, Chelsea. They won't catch up in the next 8 years.
My original point was I think we're just going to muddle around third to sixth, us two, and Newcastle are just going to go on past.
I think that Klopp will leave Liverpool. I think that Pep will leave City, and Chelsea will do whatever Chelsea does with the carousel of managers, and there will be a season.
Where would Pep go?
I don't know, but I'm not sure where Pep will go. PSG.
Arteta's not going to win the league at Arsenal.
I don't know. I don't. I generally agree with you.
But Conte is not going to be around.
He signed an 18-month deal. Yeah, after this transfer window, I don't know. Apparently, he's happy with it, though. Apparently, the rumor is he's happy with it.
Yeah, he wanted to kick those MFers off the training field, and he's good with the exits more than he is with the entries. He's like, get these motherfuckers out of here, and I can have good training till summer till we actually sign some motherfuckers.
So let's talk about the transfer.
Or whatever motherfucker is in Italian.
Let's talk about the transfer window. We're all in agreement that Newcastle had the best transfer window, right?
I think so.
Does anyone disagree with that?
Absolutely. No, yeah. As far as signings, probably not. But as far as improving the team, absolutely.
Wait. You don't think that they have the best transfer window in terms of signings?
You know what? You might be right, Sean. You can have an argument for Everton.
Caliber of signings, like if you like, all right, this player's worth. If you put a value to a player, like let's say Diaz is worth 7 points. Like that means Trippier is worth like 2.
Oh, but so who are you saying signed better players? Which team are you saying that signed better players?
Like Diaz is a great signing.
Okay,
For Liverpool.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is, as far as improving the team, Newcastle win.
I think you make an argument for Everton.
I think I'm arguing against myself in a circle.
Yeah,
you are.
I'm confused at your argument.
Yeah, you are. You went. I think the only team that you could argue got better as well would be like significantly better because Diaz doesn't start for Liverpool. He's a bench warmer for this year, and he's there if they can't sign Salah back. Is Everton with Dele on pretty much a free for this year, and
Dele Alli's not that good anymore.
and Big.
What I don't understand this, Brent. What
getting Dele on a free?
What? Okay,
No?
great.
It's not free though. It's going to be like 40 million in a year's time. It's not free.
Yeah, but
no, it's 10 million in a year's time because he can't after 20 matches.
But Brad, what's the
there's
important?
not 20 matches left.
What's the important part about football? It's winning. And what do you have to do to win football matches? You have to play and play well. What indication have you had over the last 18 months that Dele Alli has any interest in trying and training hard to be good at football?
Frank Lampard.
If Antonio Conte can't make Dele Alli work hard, Frank Lampard's not going to be able to do it.
Yeah, come on. Like
that's why I brought up Dele Alli and Aubameyang is they both have raw talent. It's clear and evident when they feel like playing. But that's the important part of like Dele never feels like playing, and when he did,
I need to defend Aubameyang in this because
okay, all right,
it's not.
Hold on now.
It's not that he. So when we're talking about
feeling like playing is putting the ball in the back of the net when you're a striker, and he doesn't.
Aubameyang is clearly like a feels player. He's an emotional player, and like so he doesn't.
Yeah, and he doesn't feel like playing.
No. There are some players that can just like turn it on and off, and I don't believe that Aubameyang is that type of player. When he's in good form, and he's going to score goals. What the biggest issue with Aubameyang at Arsenal has been, apparently he just is late to literally everything, and like he's just apparently always late, and so like that's been the history of his career at Dortmund, at Arsenal, apparently. So like. It's not that Aubameyang doesn't try hard and doesn't work hard. He is a hard worker and he does try. Dele Alli is not a hard worker.
He's just on a different Pierre's just on a different time zone.
Yes, and so like I have to defend Aubameyang in that sense. Is that like his issue is not effort, is not trying. It's just apparently he's just late.
All right, with you. So I agree that Newcastle had a better transfer window. I think adding those two players to Everton, you can make an argument for Everton. But
I disagree.
Newcastle definitely had the best transfer window.
Newcastle signed in Trippier and I'm going to butcher the name, Guimarães, the Brazilian. I honestly didn't know much about him, but I've looked him up. He looks really good. Arsenal tried to sign him.
We did.
Trippier is a Champions League finalist, La Liga player, team of the year. Won La Liga last year. He's an unbelievable right back. Like he's better than Newcastle. Like right now. Like, and Guimarães, I think he looks like he's going to be a great centre midfielder. Both Champions League players. Newcastle aren't a Champions League team yet, but like they are unreal signings. Like way above expectation.
But so fun fact: Kieran Trippier is the first and only Spurs kit I have ever bought.
Interesting.
Wow.
Number 2, Kieran Trippier.
Interesting.
Because I go to a pub with a lot of Spurs fans, and I wanted one that nobody had, and I really like Kieran Trippier, and his name's fun to say.
All right.
And also a fun fact: he left Tottenham, then won a trophy.
I mean, I think we talked about this once, but there's been like 85 players that have left Tottenham and won a trophy since Tottenham last won.
There's a lot of players who have left Tottenham and won trophies. I get it.
Harry Kane might be on that list at some point. But okay, so I think
So this last year, not this current year, but last year was Aubameyang. Was he really interested in playing?
Are you talking about 2021?
Yeah,
that was that was his last season. Was that the COVID season? That was the return from COVID season, and so there were no fans, right?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think that he didn't play well last year.
Yeah, 10 goals and
Okay.
29 appearances.
Yeah, but that doesn't go into his work
he's
ethic.
A striker.
Yes, he's been unproductive. I think that's part of my point, but that doesn't go into his work ethic. Dele Alli's issue is his work ethic. Is that he has a poor work ethic, and that's a difference than just being on a bad run of form.
How many times have you been on the training field over at Arsenal?
I personally? Never. How many times have you been on the training pitch at Tottenham? Never. But
Yeah, so I don't know enough to call Dele lazy.
I mean, I watched All or Nothing. So anyway, we agree that I think the consensus Newcastle had the best transfer.
Yes.
Brad apparently wants to
There's
argue
one
the
other
point.
one. There's one other one. Hold on. Aston Villa. We forgot about Aston Villa. Then we can be done.
They did have
Coutinho,
they did have a good
Digne, Chambers. Am I forgetting anybody?
You just lumped Callum Chambers in with Coutinho.
Yeah.
Brad's just reading a list of ins.
I'm looking at all 3 of their ins. That's
So, but Brad,
a defender which they needed.
How would you rate their transfer outs? Brad,
It was great business.
I'm stopping you there.
Target on loan.
Okay, I'm stopping you. Who had the worst transfer window? Was it Arsenal or Tottenham?
Arsenal.
Arsenal.
And I think Norwich had a terrible. Norwich didn't sign anyone.
Yeah. I think that you can make
that's a good
either
one.
of
Yeah.
them.
Burnley getting rid
Burnley signed a striker, a Dutch international, who's probably better than Chris Wood. So they replaced him well.
Okay.
So
all right.
So maybe do we think that Norwich has maybe accepted the fact that they're going down and is trying to reserve cash?
I think in an effort to move this on, I saw a tweet that said if Norwich get relegated and Fulham come up again and win the championship, we should just start a separate league where Norwich and Fulham just play each other for eternity and just leave us alone.
they just keep trading spots. I'm with you. When was the last time they played each other? 5 years ago?
Win the championship and Norwich get relegated, and then Norwich win the championship and Fulham get relegated, and they just keep flip-flopping spots. So this person, which I agree with, just wants Fulham and Norwich to just go away and play each other, and then just let the rest of us be.
West Brom can go in there as well. They were always up and down.
Yeah. Get rid of West Brom.
Yeah.
And
Watford, because I hate their stupid moose.
So Sean, I see this leave time for Sean. I got a thing.
Yeah.
What's this thing?
Right.
What's this thing?
So my thing was when we did a little testaroonie I noticed that Joel looks like he's in an interview in Zoom times from coronavirus. So, in the essence, I wanted to interview Joel. And what I have is a number of facts about Newcastle United, and I want to see how much you know. So I'm going to start out with the layups. You're going to get number 1 because we've already talked about it. Top scorer in Newcastle history.
Alan Shearer, 206.
Yeah. So I gave 206. I gave the number too. All right. So
told you he's my hero.
So it's going to get harder and harder as they go on, and the last 3 are goofy as shit. So I do not expect you to get them. So many people know that St. James's Park is one of the oldest parks in England. What year was it built? And if you get within 3 or 4, I'd give it to you. Just get close.
Man, 1920s. I honestly don't know.
It's actually 1892.
Oh, the year we were founded, 1892.
Yeah, 1892.
What year was the stadium built? Okay, all right.
No, that's what the internet told me, that St. James's Park was built in 1892. Is what the internet told me.
That's where they put the first temporary stand-up so people could come sit up at the field.
Maybe I don't know.
And then they just kept going from there.
Internet. So here is the first funny one to me. The first. All right, so it's the first to wear the number 12, but I want the year, not the person. So the first time a person wore number 12 on the pitch for Newcastle. And
John Joe wore
the first time this ever happened.
The first time there was a sub, I think, is the question he's asking. Am I correct?
Well, no, that was my punchline.
Oh.
All right, I'm just gonna throw this one away for the essence of time. The first to wear the number 12 for Newcastle was in 1965, a man named Ollie Burton. He was the club's first sub. 1965 was their first substitution.
Football is different, man. Football.
That is insane.
It used to be different, Sean. These people would play. Every 2 days, and it would be the same 11.
For 70 years, it was the same 11 just running around. Anyways, all right, on to 4.
Not necessarily. I think that they just recycled the 1 through 11 kits, so it could have been different players.
Okay.
It was just the first time they made a substitution. They needed a 12 in their lineup.
Gotcha. I gotcha. That makes sense. All right. So number 4, Newcastle originally wore which colors?
Red and white.
Yes. Yeah, their rival colors. Yes. They wore them for 2 years and then came to their traditional white and black.
Yeah.
All right. Then the goofiest of the goofy. Newcastle United Football Club photographer in the early 1900s was better known for this invention.
The telephoto lens.
I don't have a clue.
He invented the windshield wipers. After an FA Cup final in 1908, he was driving home in a snowstorm and basically decided, and I quote, "Fuck this." I added that last part. All right, now for the fun stuff. I'm going to name, this is real quick. I'm going to do it to your rapid fire. Get ready. I'm going to name random American sports athletes of the major 4, which are hockey, baseball, basketball, football.
American football.
American football. So you just tell me, all I need is the sport. Rod Carew. I can spell it if you... What's it?
Hockey, not a clue.
Nope, that is incorrect. He was a baseball player for the Milwaukee Brewers.
Hold on. Can I jump in here real quick?
Sure.
Joel, I think your highest odds of getting things right is football because they have the largest rosters. Like they have 53 player rosters.
Oh,
so
true.
I think I'm always guessing football because I'm not going to know any of these answers, and I think football is your best bet.
I picked this one because it's a fun name. His name was Lynn Swan.
He sounds like a basketball player.
I think it's baseball.
That was football.
Oh,
Football. Come on now.
All right. So we've got another fun name, Patrick Ewing.
Oh.
Baseball.
That one was basketball. All right.
Patrick Ewing's actually a really famous basketball player.
I know. I threw that one in there. I thought that one was going to be a layup, but because he's a big man. Anyways. So this one might be a good one for you. Martin St. Louis.
Sounds French. I don't know.
Not France.
Oh, Canada hockey.
Yeah.
Yes, there you go. He's French Canadian.
There we go.
All right. And then also possibly French. Who knows?
Last one, Sean.
Last one. Brett Favre.
Oh, he's football.
Yeah, there you go. All right, we got 2.
I can get the word out.
We got the motion there.
Yeah, Favre. So that is kind of French. It's just
all right.
Long leather Zeppelin toss. All right. We were supposed to look at the sheets of integrity. We don't have enough time to do that, so we'll talk about that at another date. But let's quickly hit the FA Cup because that's what's coming up. We've got games this weekend as we come out of the international break. Well, some clubs are playing in it.
Sean.
I'm not sure who those clubs are. Joel, do you have any idea?
I don't know. What's the FA Cup again?
Yeah, I forget. I'm not sure. So on Friday, FA Cup kicks off with Manchester United hosting Middlesbrough. Saturday morning, got Chelsea hosting Plymouth Argyle. West Ham United have the best draw in my opinion. They have Kidderminster Harriers. That should be a good one. Crystal Palace are hosting Hartlepool. What was it, Joel?
Hartlepool.
Thank you. Hartlepool. United. Then we got Southampton is hosting Coventry City. Everton are hosting Brentford. Manchester City are hosting Fulham. Wolves are hosting Norwich City. Spurs are hosting Brighton and Hove. Liverpool hosting Cardiff City. And Nottingham Forest, having knocked out Arsenal in the last round, are hosting Leicester City. So that's not all of the matches. Those are the matches involving Premier League teams. And
yeah, one of them's involving 2, which is stupid.
Two of them are involving 2.
We got West Ham playing a Sunday league team, and we got to play fucking Brighton.
Yo, I'm all in on Kidderminster. That's who I'm
They
pulling
have
for.
to be like Division 7 or something.
I think they're two divisions below the League 2. So
Professional.
after League 2, you've got the conference, and then the conference is split up between North and South, and below that. Well, Kidderminster just the round before they knocked out Reading, and that was like a huge giant kill because Reading are in the championship.
Yeah.
Reading are a big. That's a massive giant killing. So who knows? The magic of the FA Cup. They could go on and beat West Ham.
Let's do it.
Cool.
I'm all about it.
The magic of the FA Cup got rid of 2 of the 4 teams on here.
We're rooting for them.
Hey, Brad, how many FA Cups have Chelsea won?
I know it's less than Arsenal.
Okay, when the last time you guys were in the FA Cup final? Think about it.
You guys won. It was 2 years ago.
Did you guys lost?
No. Yeah, we did.
Okay,
but hey,
checking.
when was the last time you guys were in Europe?
It was like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, something like that. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I thought we were talking.
Last time we won.
I thought we were talking about the FA Cup, bro.
Oh, I'm just asking questions.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so that's the football that's coming up this weekend. We're all going to be watching Kidderminster, and Sean's going to be watching Brighton and Hove slap Spurs.
No.
You worried about that game, Sean?
Well, I'll pick it up at the 15th or 20th minute whenever I figure out whatever frickin' channel the stupid games are on, because they're on 4 different places.
ESPN Plus.
ESPN Plus.
Super easy.
They're everywhere.
You're going to go to the pub anyway. What are you talking about?
Peacock, NBC, Fox, ESPN, the Ocho. Who knows where these games are? Find out on this week's episode of Red Card Radio where your stupid game's going to be, because the Premier League and the FA are selling shit everywhere.
Sean regularly texts us is like, where is this game? Like, can you guys find this game? I don't know where this game is. It's like, bro,
just put the crap in one place.
It's 2 different entities selling 2 different products, to be fair. So the Premier League is selling the rights to the Premier League, and the FA is selling the rights to
I'm reaching the get off my lawn age. If I don't want to search for crap. Just put it in a position where I can look at it.
Well, that's where we're heading. Get off my lawn. That's where we're heading. First, before we get out of here, big shout out, big thank you to you, Joel. Thank you for being here. We really appreciate it. I hope it went well. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll do these occasionally where we bring some people on to tell us why they think we're stupid, things like that. So first and foremost, we really appreciate you carving out some time for us. If you're still listening and you haven't hit those like, review, subscribe, all those buttons that do things, please do those things, because it really helps us out. We would love for this podcast to grow and reach new people. As always, feel free to hit us up on Twitter. Brad, that's at KSBradG. That's Brad. Joel, you are at Joel Finley 16. So right. Hit him up on Twitter. Tell him why you think Newcastle is awesome. That would be the best. Sean is at Whiteheart_Sean, though he might turn into Turfmore_Sean here in a little bit. And I am at James Tiffany. We collectively are at Redcard_Radio on Twitter. Leave us some comments. Shout out to us, and we'll talk about those things. But until next time, have a good evening, and we'll see you all soon. Take care.